My dear child, there are moments in life that stop you completely. Not because something went wrong, but because something deep inside you finally woke up. This is one of those moments. Right now, in the middle of whatever you are carrying, whatever weight sits on your shoulders, whatever question burns in your chest without an answer, you are being seen. Completely, fully, without judgment. And the one who sees you is not distant. He is not busy. He is not tired of you. He is here, leaning close, speaking softly, and saying with absolute certainty, I am proud of you. You have never been the kind of person who is satisfied with shallow things. While others around you were content with easy answers and surface level living, something inside you kept pushing deeper. You asked the hard questions. You sat with the uncomfortable truths. You refused to pretend that everything was fine when it was not. And you refused to accept a version of faith or life that was hollow and empty. That hunger in you, that relentless desire to find what is real and lasting and true, that is not a problem. That is one of the most beautiful things about you. It is the very thing that sets you apart. Think about all the nights you lay awake with your mind racing. Questions about your purpose, your direction, your worth, your future. You wondered if you were doing enough, being enough, living right. You wondered why certain things happened to you, and whether any of it made sense. Those nights were not wasted. Every single question you wrestled with in the darkness was a seed being planted. You did not know it then, but you were growing. You were being shaped and deepened, and prepared for something far greater than you could see from where you were standing. Do not ever be ashamed of your questions. The world will sometimes make you feel like doubt is the enemy of faith. But the truth is that honest questions, asked with a sincere heart, are one of the most powerful forms of worship. They are proof that you take this life seriously. They are proof that you are not just going through the motions. You want the real thing. You want genuine connection, genuine truth, genuine transformation. And because you want those things so deeply, they will find you. Truth always finds the heart that is truly searching for it. There is a voice that has heard every question you have ever asked. It heard the ones you spoke out loud, and the ones you only thought in the quietest corner of your heart. It heard the desperate prayers and the angry ones. It heard the ones you were too tired to finish, and the ones you cried through without words. And that voice has never once turned away from you. It has never grown impatient. It has never said, enough, I am done with you. Instead, it has stayed. It has waited. It has watched over you with a love so vast that no human language can fully contain it. That voice speaks to you today and says, your questions did not push me away. They drew me closer. Every time you cried out for understanding, I was already moving in your direction. Every time you felt lost and confused, I was already preparing the next step of your path. I have not forgotten a single detail of your life. I know your name. I know your story. I know the things that hurt you most and the things that bring light to your eyes. I know the dreams you have buried because you were afraid they were too big. And I know the ones you are still quietly holding on to. I hold them all with you, and I am telling you right now, your story is not over. The best chapters are still ahead. You have chosen, again and again, to seek wisdom rather than to lean on your own limited understanding. You have sat with elders and teachers and mentors. You have listened more than you have spoken. You have asked for guidance instead of pretending you had all the answers. That humility is extraordinarily rare. Most people spend their whole lives protecting the image of having it all together. But you were willing to be the student. You were willing to say, I do not know, and I need help. And because of that, wisdom has been flowing into you like a steady river, building up inside you, preparing you to carry things you cannot yet imagine. The connections you have built with wise and godly people around you are not accidental. Those relationships were placed in your life intentionally. Every person who has spoken truth into you, every mentor who took the time to guide you, every elder who shared their hard-earned wisdom with you, those were gifts sent directly to your life. Honor those connections. Keep those people close. Continue to learn from them. And one day, and that day may be closer than you think, you will be the one others come to. You will be the steady voice that guides someone else through their confusion. You will pass on what you have received, and the circle of wisdom will continue. Beloved child, this ministry exists to bring encouragement, prayer, and God's truth to every heart that needs it. You can stand with us through the Ko-Fi or PayPal links in the description and pinned comment. May God bless you abundantly for your love and support. Let us take a moment now and go somewhere most people avoid. Let us talk about the hidden places inside you. The places you do not show anyone. The old wounds that never fully healed. The confusing memories that still surface without warning. The fears you have carried for so long that they feel like part of your identity. The thoughts that come at your weakest moments and tell you that you are not good enough, not worthy enough, not strong enough to make it. You know those places. You have spent time there, sometimes by choice and sometimes because you had no idea how to escape them. Here is what you need to hear today. Those places are not beyond healing. Those shadows are not stronger than light. You have been afraid to look too closely at certain things because you were not sure what you would find there. But you do not have to be afraid anymore. You are not alone in those places. You were never alone there. There is a presence that has been in every one of those hidden corners with you. Even when you did not feel it, even when it seemed like the darkness was complete. That presence has been holding you together in ways you do not fully understand yet, keeping you from falling apart completely, keeping a flicker of hope alive inside you even on your darkest days. And now, that same presence is bringing light into those places, not to expose you or shame you, but to heal you. There is a difference between exposure and healing. Exposure says, look at this broken thing. Healing says, look at this broken thing that is being made whole. You are not being put on display. You are being restored. Every old hurt, every confusing memory, every shadow of distress that has disrupted your peace, healing is coming to all of it. Receive it. Do not push it away. Do not tell yourself you do not deserve it. You do. You absolutely do. Now, before we go further, if this message is touching something real in you, if these words are reaching places that have been closed for a long time, please take a moment and subscribe to this channel. There is so much more that has been prepared for you here. Every video on this channel is a message crafted with love and intention, designed to reach the part of you that the world does not see. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so that you never miss a word that was meant for you. Someone out there needed to hear exactly what you just heard, so share this with them too. You might be the reason someone else finds exactly what they needed today. You have shown real courage in your battles with temptation, and this is something worth talking about honestly, because most people pretend these battles do not exist, but they do. Every single day, you face pressures and pulls and whispers that promise quick relief, easy pleasure, temporary escape. The world is full of things that look like they will help, but only make things worse in the long run. You know exactly what those things are in your own life. You know the specific temptations that have knocked on your door, sometimes quietly and sometimes loudly, and you know how hard it is to say no when every part of you wants to say yes. But you have said no. Not every time, perhaps, but more times than you give yourself credit for. There have been moments when you stood at a crossroads And you chose the harder, better path. You chose your integrity over your impulse. You chose your future over a fleeting moment of relief. You chose who you are becoming over who you used to be. Those choices, every single one of them, were seen. They did not go unnoticed. They were not wasted acts of willpower that nobody cared about. Every time you turned away from something that would have pulled you backward, you were winning a battle that was bigger than you realized. Self-control is one of the most underrated forms of strength in the world today. The world celebrates boldness and ambition and talent. But self-control, the quiet daily discipline of choosing right over easy, is what actually builds a life of substance. It is what separates people who talk about greatness from people who actually live it. You have been exercising that muscle. Maybe not perfectly, maybe with many stumbles along the way, but you have been at it. And every day that you choose discipline over impulse, you are building something inside yourself that cannot be taken away. Your body is a temple. That is not just a nice phrase. It is a profound truth about who you are and what you carry. The spirit that lives inside you is something holy, something set apart, something that deserves to be housed with care and intention. When you choose to honor your body, through what you eat, what you watch, what you listen to, how you rest, how you protect your eyes and your mind from things that corrupt and degrade, you are doing something deeply spiritual. You are saying, I take seriously what lives inside me. I take seriously what I was made for. That discipline is beautiful. It is worship in the most practical and everyday sense of the word. There are moments when the pressure to give in feels unbearable, when every part of you is screaming for relief, and the thing you know you should avoid is the only thing that seems to promise it. In those moments, you are not alone. There is always a way through. There is always an exit from the pressure that does not require you to compromise yourself. Sometimes that exit is a phone call to a trusted friend. Sometimes it is a walk outside. Sometimes it is dropping to your knees and saying out loud, I cannot do this without help. That moment of admitting you need help is not weakness. It is the most powerful thing you can do, because it opens the door for something greater than your own willpower to come in and carry you through. You have stumbled. Of course you have. Every human being who has ever lived has stumbled. The question was never whether you would fall. The question is always whether you get back up. And you have gotten back up. Every time the darkness told you that you were finished, that your mistakes had disqualified you, that there was no coming back from where you had been, you proved it wrong. You stood up again, maybe slowly, maybe shaking, maybe with tears streaming down your face. But you stood up. And that is everything. That is the whole story right there. Let us talk about the gifts inside you, because this is something you need to hear clearly and without qualification. Before you were born, before you took your first breath, before anyone in the world knew your name, you were already being designed with specific gifts, specific strengths, specific abilities that the world needs. These are not generic, one-size-fits-all talents. They are particular to you. They fit your personality, your story, your experiences, your way of seeing the world. They were placed in you on purpose, for a purpose. And here is the remarkable thing about you. You have begun to use them. Not for your own glory, not to make yourself look impressive, but to genuinely serve others. You have taken what you have been given and poured it out for the people around you. You have mentored. You have encouraged. You have shown up in practical ways to help people who were struggling. You have used your words to lift people up when they were sinking. You have used your time and energy and resources to invest in others without always getting anything back. That kind of living is rare, and it is beautiful, and it is exactly what you were made for. There is something that happens when you use your gifts in service of others. You come alive. Deep down, in the part of you that is most real and most awake, something lights up when you are doing what you were made to do. You may have felt that feeling, the sense of rightness, of purpose, of fitting perfectly into something larger than yourself. That feeling is not accidental. It is confirmation. It is the universe telling you, yes, this is it. This is what you were made for. Keep going. Your gifts are also growing. The more you use them, the stronger they become. The more you invest them in others, the more they multiply. You are not meant to be a reservoir that just fills up and sits still. You are meant to be a river, constantly receiving and constantly flowing outward, carrying life to everything it touches. The more you give, the more you are given. This is not a nice idea. It is a law of the spirit. It is how the whole system works. Do not be afraid of the calling that has been placed on your life. Do not let its size intimidate you into staying small. Yes, what you have been called to is bigger than you. It is supposed to be bigger than you. If it were something you could accomplish entirely on your own strength, and your own intelligence and your own resources, you would not need faith. You would not need to trust anything beyond yourself. But the fact that your calling is bigger than you is precisely the point. It forces you to stay connected to the source. It forces you to walk in daily dependence on something greater. And in that dependence, you find a strength that is not your own, a strength that never runs out, never gets tired, never gives up. Now let us talk about your heart for people. Not just the people who are easy to love, not just your close friends and your family, but the people on the edges, the ones who have been pushed out, the lonely ones, the forgotten ones, the ones who have made enough mistakes that most people have given up on them. Your heart has gone out to those people in ways that most hearts do not. You have seen them when it would have been easier to look away. You have shown up for them when everyone else had already left. When you opened your home to someone who had nowhere to go, that was not a small thing. When you shared your table with someone from outside your usual circle, that was not a casual act of charity. When you looked at someone who the world had written off and saw in them something worth loving, something worth fighting for, something worth your time and energy, that was extraordinary. That kind of love does not come from human nature alone. It comes from somewhere deeper. It comes from a place that has been filled by something greater than what this world can produce. Your hospitality is a ministry. Your open door is a sanctuary. In a world that is becoming colder and more isolated and more suspicious of strangers, you have been a warm place. You have been proof that love still exists in human form. And the people who have passed through your door, the ones who ate at your table and rested in your space and felt for the first time in a long time that someone actually cared, they will carry the memory of your kindness with them. It will stay with them. It will speak to them long after they have moved on from your presence. The provision for your generosity will always come. You will never run dry because you chose to give. This is the extraordinary paradox of a generous life. The more you give away, the more flows in to replace it. Your table will always be full. Your needs will always be met. Not because of luck or because you somehow managed your resources perfectly, but because something beyond you honors the generosity you have chosen to live by. Trust that. Even when the numbers look tight, even when you cannot see where the next thing is coming from, trust that the same love that called you to be generous is more than capable of sustaining you in your generosity. You are also being protected. The people you have welcomed and loved have not gone unnoticed. The kindness you have extended without expecting anything in return has built something around you that cannot be seen with the eyes. It is a kind of protection, a covering, a grace that moves ahead of you and deals with things before they ever reach you. Some of the disasters that did not happen in your life, you will never know exactly why they were averted. But your generosity, your love, your willingness to give yourself away for others, that has something to do with it. Let us speak about your spiritual life now. Not in a formal, religious way, but in the most honest and human way possible. Your spiritual life is the foundation of everything else. It is the underground water supply that feeds everything growing above the surface. When the foundation is strong and alive, everything built on it can flourish. When it is neglected or dry, everything else eventually suffers. You have understood this, not just intellectually, but in practice. You have made time for prayer when it would have been easier to sleep. You have sat in silence when your mind was racing and you needed peace. You have opened your heart to something greater than yourself in those quiet moments, before the world woke up, when everything was still and the only sound was your own breathing and the faint voice of something that loves you completely. Those moments are the most important moments of your day. They are the ones that determine the quality of everything that follows. Fasting is something you have practiced. You have denied your body what it wanted in order to give your spirit what it needed. That is a profound act of spiritual maturity. It says, I know that I am more than my appetites. I know that there is a dimension to my existence that goes beyond physical comfort and satisfaction. And I am willing to temporarily set aside the physical in order to access something deeper. Every time you have fasted with sincerity, something was being shifted in the spiritual atmosphere around your life. Things were being prepared for you that you had not yet seen. The scriptures you have hidden in your heart are working on your behalf, even when you are not consciously thinking about them. Truth, once planted deep enough, begins to operate automatically. It becomes part of how you see things, how you interpret situations, how you make decisions. You do not have to remember every word you have ever memorized. The words remember themselves. They surface at the exact moment you need them. They become your first instinct instead of your last resort. Keep planting that truth deeper and deeper into yourself. It is the most reliable foundation you can build your life on. You have gathered with other believers. You have understood that faith is not meant to be a solo journey. There is something that happens in community that cannot happen in isolation. When people come together with shared hope and shared love and shared commitment to something greater than any of them individually, a kind of power is generated that is beyond the sum of its parts. You have been part of that. You have added your voice and your presence and your faith to the collective. And in doing so, you have both given and received something irreplaceable. Dear child, if these messages have brought peace to your heart, strengthened your faith, or reminded you of God's love, please consider supporting this ministry through the Ko-Fi or PayPal links below. Together, we can continue sharing hope and God's word with countless souls around the world. We must pause here and speak about something very important: the health and peace of your home. Your family is one of the most sacred things in your life. The relationships under your roof, the bonds between you and the people you love most, the daily dynamics of family life, with all its warmth and tension and complexity. All of it matters enormously, and you have been fighting for it, not with fists, but with love. Not with anger, but with patience. Not with ultimatums, but with consistent, steady, sacrificial love that shows up every day regardless of whether it is acknowledged or appreciated. You have been the kind of parent or partner or sibling or child that models what love actually looks like in real life. Not the romanticized version. Not the version in movies where everything resolves neatly in 90 minutes. But the real version, where love means showing up for the 1000th time with the same patience you showed up with the first time, even when you are tired, even when you feel unappreciated, even when you wonder if any of it is making a difference. It is making a difference. Children are watching. Spouses are noticing even when they say nothing. Siblings are registering the way you treat them, even when they do not show gratitude. The seeds you are planting in your family relationships are real seeds, and they are growing underground, even when you cannot see them above the surface. Do not give up. Do not let exhaustion convince you that your love is wasted. It is not wasted. Not a single act of genuine love is ever wasted. You have raised your children with the understanding that there is something greater than themselves to live for. You have taught them not just values and rules, but the story behind the values and the love behind the rules. You have tried to give them not just information, but formation, not just facts but faith. You have prayed over them when they were sleeping, and when they did not know you were watching. You have carried them in your heart with a weight that only a loving parent fully understands. Your children will not be lost. The prayers you have prayed over them are living things. They are active. They do not expire. They continue working, even when you cannot see any evidence of their effect. Even when your children go through difficult seasons. Even when they make choices that break your heart, those prayers are still at work. There is a covering over them that your love and your faith have created, and it will not be removed. Hold on. Keep praying. Keep loving. The harvest of what you have sown into their lives is coming. Now let us talk about integrity. This is a word that people use a lot, but live less often than they should. Integrity means that who you are in public and who you are in private are the same person. It means that you tell the truth, even when a lie would be easier and more comfortable. It means that you do what you say you will do. It means that your character does not shift depending on who is watching. You cannot be bought. You cannot be pressured into becoming something you are not. You have your principles and you hold them, even when holding them costs you something. That kind of integrity is rare in this world. Most people bend. Most people compromise a little here, a little there, telling themselves it does not really matter, that nobody will notice, that it is just this one time. But it always matters, and you know that. You have refused the easy path of convenient dishonesty. You have chosen the harder path of costly truth, and in doing so, you have built something inside yourself that nobody can take away. Your character is your most valuable possession. Protect it. There have been times when you were wrong and you knew it, and instead of hiding behind excuses or projecting blame onto someone else, you went back and made it right. That is extraordinarily difficult. The ego does not want to do that. The ego wants to protect itself, to minimize, to deflect. But you overcame your ego and you chose humility. You made the hard phone call. You sent the uncomfortable message. You looked someone in the eye and said, "I was wrong, and I am sorry." That act of humility, uncomfortable as it was, released something. It freed you and it freed the other person. It opened a door that pride would have kept shut permanently. Keep your conscience clean. Do not let things fester. Do not let misunderstandings grow into walls. Do not let pride convince you that you have nothing to apologize for when something in you knows that you do. The relief that comes from making things right is one of the most genuine forms of peace available to a human being. It is a peace that you create with your own hands, through your own choices. And it is yours to keep. We should speak about your financial life, because money is one of the most practical and daily areas of human experience, and it is also one of the most spiritually significant. The way you handle money reveals what you truly believe. Not what you say you believe, but what you actually believe. when it comes to real decisions in the real world. You have approached money with a generosity that comes from a deep place of trust. You have given when you could have held back. You have shared when you could have hoarded. You have put others first when your own needs were screaming for attention. And you have done this not because someone forced you or guilted you into it, but because something inside you genuinely believes that you cannot outgive the source of all provision, that there is always enough. That generosity creates more space for abundance, not less. This belief is being honored. The resources that flow through your hands are not random. They are the result of choices you made, values you held, a consistent posture of openness and trust that you have maintained over time. Do not let financial pressure squeeze the generosity out of you. That pressure, as real as it is also a test. It is asking you, do you really believe what you say you believe? Do you trust in abundance even when scarcity is what you can see right now? Every time you answer yes through your actions, you are demonstrating a faith that moves things in the spiritual dimension that have very real effects in the natural world. You are also being wise with money. You are not just giving it away recklessly. You are thinking about the future. You are making plans. You are being a responsible steward of what you have been entrusted with. Generosity and wisdom are not opposites. The most powerfully generous people are also some of the wisest, because they understand that they need to sustain themselves in order to sustain their giving. You are building something with your finances, not just for yourself, but for your family, for the generations that come after you. That is a long game, and you are playing it. Let us talk about joy, real joy, not the shallow, circumstantial happiness that comes and goes with the weather of life, but the deep, settled, underground river of joy that flows even when the surface of life is turbulent. You have been acquainted with that kind of joy. You know what it feels like to choose gratitude when every logical reason points toward complaint. You know what it feels like to smile through something that should have broken you. You know what it feels like to hold on to hope when hope seemed irrational. That is not a small thing. That joy is a miracle. And it is also a choice. Joy at that depth is never accidental. It is always chosen. It is always fought for. It is always the result of someone looking at their circumstances and deciding, I will not let this steal what I carry inside me. I will not give my peace to this situation. I will hold on to what is true, even when I cannot feel it. You have made that choice over and over. And every time you made it, you were stronger the next time you needed to make it. Your joy is contagious. It is not just for you. When people see you walking through hard things with a peace that does not make sense, it disturbs them in the best possible way. It makes them wonder. It makes them ask questions. It makes them look at you and think, what do you know that I do not know? What are you holding on to that I am not holding on to? Your joy is a testimony. It is a living argument for the reality of something greater than circumstances. Do not let anyone or anything steal it from you. There are people in your life right now who are watching you more closely than you realize. They are watching to see if your faith is real. They are watching to see if what you claim to believe actually makes a difference in how you live. They are not watching with judgment, necessarily. They are watching with a kind of desperate hope, because they want it to be real. They want to see proof that there is something worth believing in, something worth living for, and you, by simply being who you are, by simply continuing to carry your joy and your peace and your integrity through your daily life, you are giving them that proof. You are being the evidence they have been looking for. The quiet moments you have chosen, the time set aside for stillness and reflection and listening, these have been building something in you that you are only beginning to see. There is a kind of depth that only comes from stillness, You cannot rush it. You cannot manufacture it. It grows slowly and quietly in the silences you protect, in the margins of your life that you refuse to fill with noise. Most people are terrified of silence, because in the silence they have to face themselves. But you have not run from it. You have leaned into it. You have made it a practice. And because of that, you have access to a kind of inner steadiness that most people never find. In that stillness, you hear things, quiet promptings, gentle nudges, sudden clarity about a decision that has been confusing you, an unexpected peace about something that has been keeping you awake. These are not coincidences. They are the fruits of a quiet life. They are the reward for choosing presence over distraction. Keep protecting your quiet time. Guard it fiercely. It is the most productive time of your day, even though nothing visible seems to be happening in it. Let us speak about the courage you have shown in the face of injustice. There have been moments when you saw something wrong, something unfair, someone being mistreated or overlooked or taken advantage of, and you did not look away. You did not tell yourself it was not your problem. You did not calculate the personal cost of getting involved and decide it was too high. You stepped in. You used your voice when it would have been much easier and safer to stay silent. That courage is one of the rarest things on earth. Most people, when faced with a situation of injustice, experience a very human mixture of compassion and self-preservation. The compassion says, something should be done. The self-preservation says, but not by me, not right now, not in this situation. And more often than not, self-preservation wins. But not in you. You have let compassion override self-preservation enough times that it has become a part of your character. You are the person who stops. You are the person who speaks up. You are the person who stands between the vulnerable and the threat. That does not go unnoticed. The people you have protected, the voices you have amplified, the dignity you have defended, all of it is written down. None of it is forgotten. And the courage you have exercised in those moments has been building something in you. A kind of moral strength, a settled confidence in your own convictions, a certainty about what you stand for that cannot be easily shaken. That is invaluable. In a world where moral courage is increasingly rare, you are becoming more of what the world most desperately needs. You have also shown grace toward those who have wronged you. This is perhaps one of the hardest human things there is. When someone hurts you, the natural response is to hurt them back, or at minimum to withdraw and protect yourself. To withhold forgiveness as a form of self-protection. To keep score. To wait for them to make the first move. But you have not always taken the natural path. There have been times when you chose to release what you had every right to hold on to. When you chose to extend grace that was not deserved. When you allowed reconciliation in a relationship that most people would have permanently closed. That grace is powerful beyond what you can measure. It is powerful for the person who received it, obviously. But it is even more powerful for you. Every act of genuine forgiveness releases something in you that bitterness would have kept trapped. It keeps your spirit free and mobile and open. It prevents the slow calcification of the heart that happens when resentment is allowed to harden over time. You are more free today because you chose grace over bitterness in situations where bitterness would have been completely understandable. You have looked failure in the eye and refused to let it have the final word. This is so important because failure is going to happen to everyone, without exception. The only people who never fail are the people who never try. And you are a person who tries. You take risks. You step out into uncertain territory. You attempt things that are not guaranteed to succeed. And sometimes they do not succeed. Sometimes you fall flat. Sometimes the thing you put your heart into does not work the way you planned. Sometimes you make mistakes that have real consequences that take real time to recover from. But here is what failure cannot do to you. It cannot define you. It cannot determine your future. It cannot take away your gifts or your calling or the love that has been lavished on you. It can teach you. It can redirect you. It can humble you in ways that turn out to be enormously valuable. It can strip away what was not real and leave only what is solid. But it cannot finish you. The only way failure gets the final word in your life is if you give it that word. And you have not. You have gotten back up every single time. And that persistence, that refusal to stay down, is the most important thing about you. My cherished child, every video is created with prayer time and dedication to reach those who may be searching for encouragement and faith. By supporting this ministry through Ko-Fi or PayPal, you help keep this mission growing and touching more lives each day. God bless you abundantly. Now let us expand our view and talk about the world beyond your immediate life. Because your heart has always been bigger than just your own circle. You carry in you a genuine concern for people you will never meet. You pray for nations and peoples and situations that have no direct bearing on your own daily life. You feel the weight of suffering that exists far from your neighborhood. You are moved by need that you cannot personally address. That expansiveness of heart, that global compassion, is a sign of something extraordinary living inside you. The mission of carrying love and truth and hope to the ends of the earth is one you have invested in, perhaps in small ways, but investment is investment regardless of size. Every prayer lifted for a distant nation matters. Every resource contributed to someone doing work in a place you will never visit matters. Every conversation you have had that opened someone's eyes to needs beyond their own borders matters. You are part of something much larger than your own life. The full scope of what your generosity and your prayers have set in motion will not be visible to you until much later. But it is happening. It is real. The world needs people like you. People who refuse to shrink their hearts down to the size of their own comfort zone. People who carry the weight of others willingly, not because they have to, but because they cannot imagine not doing so. You are one of those people. Your heart is one of the great resources available to the world right now. Take care of it. Protect it. Keep it open and soft and tender, even when life tries to harden it. Let us come back now and speak about repentance, because this is something that deserves to be spoken about with complete honesty and complete tenderness. You have done things you are not proud of. You have said things you wish you could take back. You have made choices that caused pain to yourself and to others. You have been to places in your own behavior that surprised you, that showed you sides of yourself you did not want to see. And some of those things have been sitting on you heavily, coloring the way you see yourself, whispering that you are not who you think you are, that your goodness is not real, that you are a fraud. Here is the truth. You are not a fraud. What you did was not who you are. The fact that it troubled you, the fact that you could not just brush it aside and move on without a second thought, the fact that it drove you to your knees and forced you to be completely honest about what happened and your role in it, that is not the behavior of someone without a conscience. That is the behavior of someone who takes their soul seriously, someone who wants to be genuinely good, not just appear good. And that person, the one who kneels in honesty and asks for forgiveness and turns around and tries again, that person is more than forgiven. They are celebrated. Repentance is not about punishing yourself. It is not about carrying guilt indefinitely as some kind of penance. Genuine repentance is a turning, a change of direction, a decision to stop going the way that leads toward destruction and start going the way that leads toward life. And once that turn has been made sincerely, the record is clear. There is no more debt. There is no more condemnation. There is only the invitation to walk forward into a future that the past does not have the right to determine. Do not let the enemy of your soul use your past against you. He will try. Every time you start to rise, every time you begin to step into the purpose you were made for, the voice of accusation will surface. It will point to what you did and say, "Who do you think you are? Do you think you deserve good things after what you have done? Do you think you have earned the right to walk in that kind of blessing?" And here is your answer to that voice. You do not answer it with your record. You answer it with grace. You say, "You are right. I do not deserve it." But grace is not about deserving. Grace is about love that is bigger than what anyone deserves. The things you have learned through your failures are among the most valuable things you carry. There is a depth of wisdom and compassion in you that could only have come from having been through what you have been through. The person who has never stumbled often lacks the patience and understanding to help someone else who is stumbling. But you know what it feels like from the inside. You know the confusion and the shame and the desperate wish that things were different. And because you know those things, you are equipped to reach people that others cannot reach. Your story, including all the parts you are least proud of, is part of what makes you useful. Dear child, a single act of kindness can help God's message reach someone who needs hope today. If you feel blessed by this channel, you can stand with us through the Ko-Fi or PayPal links in the description and pinned comment. Thank you for helping us spread God's love one soul at a time. Let us speak about unity now. The capacity to build bridges between people rather than walls. To seek peace rather than to seek to win arguments. To recognize the beauty and the strength in the diversity of the people around you, rather than being threatened by difference. This is increasingly rare and increasingly necessary in the world we live in. You have been a person who builds bridges. You have sought reconciliation in situations where division was the easier path. You have looked for common ground in conversations where it would have been simpler to just dig into your own position and defend it. You have extended respect and genuine curiosity toward people who see things differently than you do. That does not mean you have no convictions. It means your convictions are held with enough security that they do not require you to be hostile to everyone who does not share them. The community that surrounds you will be strengthened by your commitment to unity. When you refuse to participate in gossip and slander, when you refuse to let petty disagreements become permanent fractures, when you choose love over being right, you are building something. You are creating the conditions for genuine community to exist. And genuine community, the kind where people actually know each other and care for each other and show up for each other through real difficulty. That is one of the most powerful forces available to human beings. Now let us speak about the elderly and the vulnerable, because your tenderness toward those whose strength is declining is one of the most beautiful things about you. In a world that worships youth and productivity and forward momentum, you have chosen to slow down and honor those who are in the later seasons of their lives. You have listened to their stories. You have sat with them in their slowness. You have looked at them and seen not a burden but a treasure map of accumulated wisdom and experience. The dignity you have extended to those who are aging, who are losing their independence, who are afraid of being forgotten. That is an act of profound love. It costs you something. It requires patience. It requires the ability to be present to someone else's reality, rather than rushing them toward what is more convenient for you. And you have been willing to pay that cost. That willingness says something important about your character. It says that you value people for who they are, not for what they can produce or contribute. It says that your love is not contingent on capability. The children in your life have also experienced your love in a particular way. You have looked at them and seen their potential rather than their limitations. You have spoken words over them that planted seeds of confidence and identity and purpose. You have been patient with their stumbling, understanding that growth takes time and that young souls need space to develop at their own pace. The investment you have made in the next generation is one that will pay dividends for decades. Seeds planted in young hearts grow for a lifetime. You are now entering something new. Something is shifting. Can you feel it? There is a transition happening, a movement from one season to the next. And what is coming is better than what is behind you. The challenges you have walked through were not punishments. They were preparation. Every difficult thing you endured, every season of struggle and confusion and loss, was equipping you for the season that is now beginning. You are not walking into this new chapter as the same person who entered the last one. You are walking in stronger, wiser, more resilient, more compassionate, and more fully yourself. The doors that are beginning to open before you are doors that your previous seasons prepared you to walk through. If they had opened earlier, you would not have been ready for what was on the other side. The timing is not accidental. Trust the timing. Trust that what is coming is aligned with what you need and what you are ready for. Trust that the same love that has been guiding you through every previous season is guiding you into this one. There will still be challenges ahead. That is not pessimism. It is just reality. A life of purpose and meaning is not a life without difficulty. But the challenges ahead are challenges you are equipped for. They are challenges that will stretch you, but not break you. And you will face them with the same courage and the same faith and the same stubborn refusal to quit that has characterized everything you have already walked through. The people who will come into your life in this next season are people you need and people who need you. Relationships are being prepared. Connections are being arranged. Some of them will be friendships. Some will be mentorships, where you will receive and where you will give. Some will be collaborations, partnerships built around shared purpose that neither of you could have built alone. Pay attention to the people who appear. Not everyone who shows up is meant to stay, but some of them are. And you will know the difference if you are paying attention with your heart as well as your eyes. Your finances are going to be touched. The generosity you have practiced, the wise stewardship you have exercised, the trust you have maintained even when circumstances tested it, all of this is coming back to you, not necessarily in the way you expected or the way you imagined. Grace rarely operates within our expectations, but provision is coming. Abundance is not just a future hope. It is a present reality that you are beginning to step into. The scarcity that has sometimes felt defining is being replaced by a sufficiency that overflows. Your health is being tended to. The body that has carried you through so much, that has absorbed so much stress and fear, and the accumulated weight of years of struggle, healing is coming to it. Rest deeply when you can. Take care of the physical vessel that houses your spirit. Honor your body not with obsession, but with gratitude and gentle discipline. You need it to be strong for what is ahead. Your family is being drawn together. The fractures that have caused pain, the distances that have grown where closeness used to be, the relationships that have become complicated and strained. There is a reconciling work happening beneath the surface. Not all relationships can be restored to exactly what they were, but something better is being built. Something more honest and more resilient. Keep praying. Keep loving. Keep the door of your heart open. Your purpose is becoming clearer. The vague sense of calling that you have carried for a long time. The feeling that you were made for something specific and significant is crystallizing into something more concrete. Steps are becoming visible that were not visible before. Clarity is arriving where confusion has lived for too long. Trust what you are sensing. Do not dismiss the promptings that are becoming more persistent. They are not random thoughts. They are direction. And through all of this, through the abundance and the challenges and the relationships and the purpose and the healing, you are not alone. Not for a single moment. The love that has been with you through every season of your life so far, the presence that has stayed with you through the darkest nights and the most confusing days, is not going anywhere. It is going to be with you every step of the way into this new season and every season after that. You are held. You are loved. You are seen. You are known. You are celebrated. The courage it took to keep going when everything in you wanted to stop. The faith it took to trust when trust felt irrational. The love it took to keep giving when you had so little left. The integrity it took to stay honest when dishonesty would have been so much easier. None of it has been wasted. Every single thing you have poured out has been received. Every act of love, every prayer, every sacrifice, every choice of right over easy. It all matters. It has all been building toward this. Now rise. Not from a place of striving or performance or trying to prove something. Rise from a place of settled confidence. Rise from the knowledge that you are loved and equipped and ready. Rise with the kind of quiet boldness that comes from someone who has been through the fire and discovered that the fire did not consume them. Rise into the fullness of who you were made to be. The world needs exactly what you carry, not someone else's version of you, not a polished performance of strength, but you, real, honest, humble, courageous, generous, faithful you. Your best days are genuinely ahead of you. Not because life will suddenly become perfect or easy, but because you have become the kind of person who can live well regardless of circumstances. You have built the inner resources to face what is coming with grace and courage and joy. You have laid the foundation. Now it is time to build on it. Go forward with open hands and an open heart. Carry your joy like a lamp. Share your story without shame. Love people without measuring what you get back. Protect your quiet time like the treasure it is. Keep your integrity even when it costs you. Forgive quickly, including yourself. Celebrate others without envy. Ask for help without pride. Give without calculating. Trust without demanding certainty. And remember, on the days when everything feels heavy and hard, and you wonder if any of it is worth it, remember this moment. Remember that you were seen completely, loved completely, and called worthy completely. Not because you had it all together, but because you were honest and humble, and you kept showing up. That is everything. That is the whole story. You are not finished. You are just beginning. The greatest chapter of your life is the one you are walking into right now. Step into it with confidence. You were made for this. I love you, my dear child. Go live like it.